Hi, hello, good evening. I hope I'm audible as well as visible to all of you. Please join in. I had few technicalities again today. That's why around I'm 10 minutes late, and I'm sure you all were waiting for today's series of questions that I'll ask today. As I informed you in my last session also, that my aim and objective of organizing this series of quizzes is to revise, to learn, to unlearn among ourselves, and thereby include, be a part of this academic endeavor. And I'm sure that this will be helpful for all of us. So hopefully you all will join soon so that I can commence my set of questions that I have prepared. Some of them I find to be very interesting. I find to be informative that can help our understanding of certain things. And as you know, we are dealing with Chaucer and his contemporaries. So, Chaucer and his contemporaries, today is part two of the question series that I'll be discussing. So, as I can see, slowly people are joining in, and I had requested yesterday also that please ask your friend if you find it fruitful, this session to be fruitful. Please ask your friends, colleagues to join so that we all can revise and learn and unlearn together. Uh, I'd just like to know if the chat box is working fine. So if you can just type a message in the chat box of hi, hello, so that everything is fine. And then we start with our good evening. Good evening. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much. So I think we are ready for the set of questions. Some of you will be joining in during the course, I'm sure, during the course of this questions, and I'm hopeful that you are looking forward to some of the interesting questions that I have prepared for this part two of Chaucer and his contemporary quiz, part two. So the first question, we were talking about Canterbury Tales, and I told you it's an abscess. It's a work which from which there can be thousands of questions. But yeah, few questions we discussed yesterday. I'm sure you might have found them quite useful. So some of uh, the questions that were left over for today's session, I'm putting it across to you all. Now we all know the character of Frere. Frere is an important character in the Canterbury Tales. Now, can you tell me the name of the Frere? It is revealed. What's the name of the Frere in Canterbury Tales? The name of the Frere. Frere is an important character. The name of the Frere in Canterbury Tales. Can you tell me the name of the Frere? The name of the Frere in Canterbury Tales. Anybody? No? Name of the Frere in Canterbury Tales. Name of the Frere in Canterbury Tales is Hubert. 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 Our next question is there's a description of a character in Canterbury Tales who is beardless and is probably homosexual in nature. A character in Canterbury Tales who is beardless and probably is homosexual in nature. So, can you tell me the name of the character? Who is the character in Canterbury Tales? Can you tell me the name of the character? After reading about that character, we find a linkage of that character with homosexuality. So it's not 100%, but we assume that might be, and that's why I use this word probably homosexual. The character name is the Pardoner. The Pardoner is a character who is homosexual. Probably. I use the word probably. Now, the third question is this is an interesting character. Name the character in Canterbury Tales who is full of fake pardons. The tale in Canterbury Tales, there is a character who is full of fake pardons. Can you tell me the name of the character? The answer is there in the question itself. Can you tell me the name of the character who is full of pardons? Good evening, Lakshmi Kanji. Good evening, Palash. So the answer is there in the question itself. The character in Canterbury Tales, yeah, Pardoner, right. Thank you so much for the question. You get a virtual chocolate from my side. Uh, Again, from Canterbury Tales, can you tell me the character from Canterbury Tales by Chaucer who is dishonest, who is lecherous, and most importantly, it's under inverted quotes, that is hot and wanton as a sparrow. Hot and wanton as a sparrow. Who is that character? Lecherous, dishonest, and what and hot and wanton as a sparrow. Who is the character? Important character. Who is that character? In fact, all the characters, most of the characters are very fascinating in Canterbury Tales. Can you just give it a try as per your understanding? Who is that character who is hot and wanton as a sparrow? No, not a wife of Bath. Hot and wanton as a sparrow. The character is the summoner. The summoner. We next move again to one of again important characters from Canterbury Tales, and this is a character who only preached what he practiced. Okay, a character from the Canterbury Tales who preached what he practiced and always asked himself, and I quote him, always asked himself, and I quote him, and what is it? If gold rusts, what would iron do? If gold rusts, what would iron do? Can you tell me that character? The character in Canterbury Tales who only preached what he practiced and always asked himself that if gold rusts, what would iron do? What's the name of the character? No, Lakshmi Kanji, it's not Knight. Not Knight. If we have an idea about some of the honest characters, we we can answer this. The answer is the parson. The parson is the character who practiced what he, who preached what he practiced. Okay. Now we go to the next question, and the next question is again, and this is an interesting question. Very interesting question. Please focus. The question is, whose tale in Canterbury Tales? Whose tale in Canterbury Tales was a reply to the wife of Bath's tale? Whose tale in Canterbury Tales is a reply to the wife of Bath's tale and is about the patient wife Griselda? And is about the patient wife Griselda, whose tale in the Canterbury Tales was a reply to the wife of Bath's tale and is about the patient wife Griselda. Can you tell me whose tale was it? is the Clerk's Tale. The Clerk's Tale is a tale which was a reply to the wife of Bath's Tale. The Clerk's Tale was a tale which was a reply to the wives of Bath's Tale and is about the patient wife Griselda. The next question. I hope you all are finding these questions interesting and informative. Please give your comments in the chat box. I hope these questions are insightful to you. I hope you feel that these questions are interesting to you. Please give your response, your reactions in the chat box as well. Now, the next question is, which character in Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales? Interesting, okay? Please keep in mind. Thank you, Lakshmi Kanji. I hope it is informative. I hope it is insightful, because I have tried to, take out few questions which are not very common as per my understanding, and which might be a value addition to all of us. So I have tried to figure out those questions. Okay. Yes. So the next question is, please keep in mind, please be little attentive. Which character in Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales always shows itself? I will not use a gender here. Which character always shows itself, or himself rather, busy than he really is? We find these kind of characters in our daily life also. You find some people who always supposed to be there, very busy, very busy, very busy, but that is not the case. Even if on the roads, when you go out, you will see people driving, most of them, not all, most of them, as if they are so much in a hurry, not at all ready to abide by the traffic rules. You will find, and at the home, when they go home, they have nothing to do. So like that, you have one character. We have these kind of characters I'm sure all of us have seen, have experienced, are living ourselves among such characters who always shows themselves to be very busy than they really are. So in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales also, there is a character who shows himself very busy, but in fact he is not that much busy. Can you tell me who is that character from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales? The character's name is the Man of Law. The Man of Law. Now the other question, next question is again from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, and the question is, who is called the son of Epicurus? Who is called the son of Epicurus in Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales? Who is called the son of Epicurus in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales? Can you try to answer this? The son of Epicurus in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. Who is called the son of Epicurus in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales? Yes? The answer is the Franklin. The Franklin is called the son of Epicurus in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. We go to the next question. Now we go to John Lydgate, okay? Because our our focus is Chaucer and his contemporaries, and with Lydgate comes a very important question, that is Lydgate's work. Lydgate's one of the works, that is the Temple of Glass. Lydgate's The Temple of Glass is based on Chaucer's which work? Temple of Glass by Lydgate is based on Chaucer's which work? Which work of Chaucer inspired Lydgate's Temple of Glass? Thank you, Lakshmi Kanji. Yeah, I feel, I don't know, but as per my understanding and as per the books that I have referred in preparing these questions, I found, I only took out those questions which I found very relevant and has not been that much exposed or explored or asked, so that it can be useful for all of us in our, whatever you all are preparing for future examinations. Okay. So potentially the unasked questions are the potential questions, and out of those I have selected few. It is difficult. We can have thousands of questions, but it is difficult to select. So as per my very little understanding of Chaucer and his contemporaries, I have tried to figure out few important questions which might help you, and we can discuss. And as I informed you all that every day at 9 o'clock, we will have this series every day for the next 2-3 weeks. Every day we will have a quiz, and the quiz will go chronologically. So I've started with Chaucer. So from Chaucer, I will go chronologically towards the next ages every day from 9 p.m. So you can join me. Yeah, so the next question that I was asking you all is, Lydgate's the famous work, that is the Temple of Glass, is based on Chaucer's which work? Temple of Glass by Lydgate is based on Chaucer's which work? Can you tell me the name of the work? The name of the work is uh, The House of Fame. Right, Somjyoti. Oh, you are back. Somjyoti joined us yesterday also. Good to see you, Somjyoti. Thank you. Uh, Lydgate's The Temple of Glass is based on Chaucer's which work? Somjyoti has rightly said The House of Fame is the answer. Thank you. You get a virtual chocolate, Somjyoti. And whenever we meet, if possible, anytime in the near future, a chocolate is due from my side. Please do remind me if we meet. World is a very small place, I believe. The next question. In which work of Chaucer we find the influence of Dante's Divine Comedy? Which work of Chaucer is influenced by Dante's Divine Comedy? Can you tell me the name of the work by Chaucer which is influenced by Dante's Divine Comedy? Which work of Chaucer is influenced by Dante's Divine Comedy? Can you tell me the name of the work by Chaucer? The answer is The House of Fame. The House of Fame by Chaucer. We find the influence of Dante's Divine Comedy in The House of Fame by Chaucer. Now, another question pertaining to the House of Fame. I found it interesting, so I have jotted down and I wanted to share with you all. It might be helpful to you all also. Alexander Pope, the famous Alexander Pope, you know, he wrote a work, the Temple of Fame. Alexander Pope wrote a famous work, the Temple of Fame, which is also based on a work by Chaucer. Can you tell me the name of that work? Alexander Pope wrote a work called the Temple of Fame. Okay, this was by Alexander Pope. Now, can you tell me which work of Chaucer is based on the basis of which work of Chaucer Alexander Pope's The Temple of Fame is based? I hope I am able to put across my question. Alexander Pope's the Temple of Fame is based on which work by Chaucer? So the answer is The House of Fame. The House of Fame of Chaucer, Alexander Pope's The Temple of Fame is based on House of Fame by Chaucer. We go to the next question, that is Langland. Okay, William Langland. Which work of William Langland starts with a vision of the world as seen from Malvern Hills? Malvern Hills. Which work by William Langland starts with a vision of the world as seen from Malvern Hills? This is the part one, Canto 1, because from Malvern Hills he sees them and terms them as something, because next question is based on that. So my question is, which work of William Langland starts with a vision of the world as seen from Malvern Hills? Can you tell me the name of the work? Which work by William Langland? The answer is Piers Plowman. The answer is Piers Plowman. Today I'm getting less answers, so what do I have to believe? Are you all not interested, or are my questions little difficult, or what is the exact scenario? Because yesterday I was getting a lot of more answers than today. Although today the number of people watching the live stream is more than yesterday. So yeah. Now the next question is, in Piers Plowman, what was the first vision that Langland saw? What was the first vision in Piers Plowman that Langland saw? Because this question and the previous questions are interrelated. The first vision that William Langland saw in Piers the Plowman. Can you tell me the name of the vision? What was the first vision in Piers Plowman? I think I'm audible to y'all. Am I audible to y'all properly, right? Okay, fine. So the question is, in Piers the Plowman, what was the first vision that William Langland saw? William Langland saw various visions in Piers the Plowman. What was the first vision that William Langland saw? The answer is the vision of a field full of folks. Folks. Folks means people. The vision of a field full of folks. 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 That was what Piers Plowman, in the first part, the first vision that Langland saw was the vision of a field full of folks. That was the vision that Langland saw. We go to the next question. The next question is, Piers Plowman by Langland contains how many cantos? How many cantos are there in Langland's The Piers the Plowman? How many cantos can we find are there in Langland's Piers the Plowman? How many cantos can we find in Langland's Piers the Plowman? Can you tell me how many cantos? The answer is 7 cantos. We find 7 cantos in William Langland's Piers the Plowman. The next question is again about John Gower. Okay, so which work of Chaucer is dedicated to John Gower? Which work did Chaucer dedicate to John Gower? Can you tell me the name of the work which Chaucer dedicated to John Gower? The name of the work that Chaucer dedicated to John Gower. The answer is Troilus and Cressida. Troilus and Cressida is the work by Chaucer which he dedicated to John Gower. We go to the next question. Which work of John Gower? Now, John Gower is a very famous writer of that age, right? So, which work of John Gower means? John Gower wrote very famous 3 works we are all aware of, right? So, which work by John Gower means the mirror of one mediating? Out of these 3 works which John Gower is very famous for, I'm asking you the question, and the question is, which work of John Gower means the mirror of one mediating? The mirror of one mediating. Which work by John Gower? The answer is Speculum Medentis. Speculum Medentis was written in French. We are all aware of it. And the timeline was between 1376 to 79. This was written in French language. Speculum Medentis is the work in which Gower means that he is trying to mirror of one mediating. The next question is, which work of John Gower deals with the very important question? I find this very important because this event is very important in the history of British literature. We are very, very well aware of the peasants revolt of 1381, right? And it's a very important phase of British literature, early British literature. And this question is pertaining to Peasants' Revolt of 1381. So I find this question to be very, very important. So the question here is, which work of John Gower deals with the Peasants' Revolt of 1381? Which work of John Gower deals with the Peasants' Revolt of 1381? Can you tell me the name of the work by John Gower which deals with the Peasants' Revolution of 1381? The answer is Vox Clamantis. The second most important work, Vox Clamantis. Yes, Anubhuti, you are right. The answer is Vox Clamantis. And this was written in around 1381, Vox Clamantis. And the language that was used to write was Latin. Three important works. We already have discussed Speculum Medentis. The important work is The Mirror of One Mediating. Second is Vox Clementis. Speculum Medentis was written in French. It was composed around 1376 to 79. The second is Vox Clementis, which talks about the peasant revolution of 1381, and it was published around 1381. It was written in Latin language. Now we come to the next question. Which work of John Gower is considered to be a work which is a satire of clergy? It's a satire of clergy. Tell me the name of the work by John Gower which is a satire of clergy. Can you tell me the name of the work by John Gower which is a satire of clergy? Yes, Somjyoti, you are absolutely right. It's Vox Clementis. Vox Clementis is the work by John Gower which is a satire on the clergy. Now, the next question is pertaining to Vox Clementis itself. The author divides in Vox Clementis, the author divides people into three categories. Three categories of people are divided by John Gower in his magnum opus work, Vox Clementis. Right? Can you tell me the three classes, names of the three classes in which Gower divided Gower divided his work. Gower divided his people. In Vox Clementis, Gower divided his people into three classes. Can you tell me the name of the three classes? Name of the three classes. Name of the three classes. The name of the three classes are clerk, soldiers, and plowmen. Clerks, soldier, and plowmen are the names of the three classes of people that John Gower divides in his magnum opus work, Vox Clementis. We go to the next question, and the next question is, name the work by Gower, the title of which means The Confession of a Lover. Name the work by Gower, the title of which means, The Confession of a Lover. Can you tell me the name of the work by John Gower, the title of which means The Confession of a Lover? Absolutely, Biswajit, you are right. It is Confessio Amantis. Confessio Amantis, which was published around 1390, is the name of the work, which means Confessions of a Lover. We go to the next question. Which work by John Gower was written on direct orders by King Richard II? John Gower wrote a work on the instruction, the direct order of King Richard II. Can you tell me the name of the work which John Gower wrote as King Richard II directed him to write? What is the name of that work? Can you tell me, anybody? Come on. It's an important work. Can you tell me? What is the name of the work? Anubhati Boral, you are absolutely right. The answer is Confesso Amantis, and you get a virtual chocolate from my site. Till the time we don't meet somewhere, someplace in the world, which I believe is a very small place. Now, I have this important information to share with you all, which I felt while I was discussing this Chaucer, who basically are Chaucerians. As you know, who are Chaucerians? So, uh, Chaucerians basically are the writers of the 15th century, right? They are the writers of the 15th century who imitated Chaucer, or they were the disciples of Chaucer. So these imitators or disciples of Chaucer are called the Chaucerians. Now we all know that there are two kinds of Chaucerians. One is the English Chaucerian and the other is the Scottish Chaucerian. Right? Now my question is a little longer one. Can you tell me the names of the 6 English Chaucerians? If not 6, try. Who are those 6 English Chaucerians? Because this is important. First of all, we should know who are the Chaucerians. And second, we should know the two categories, that is English Chaucerians and Scottish Chaucerians. My first question is, can you tell me the name of, I give you a hint, there are 6 English Chaucerians. Can you tell me the name of the 6 English Chaucerians? Who are the 6 English Chaucerians? If not all, can you try to name few of them? You can try one by one. Who are those 6 English Chaucerians? Thomas Occleve, absolutely right. Rahul Kanwar, virtual chocolate on the way. Half of it. Not half, 1/6 of it, because there are 6. Thomas Occleve, Rahul Kanwar, second, John Lydgate, absolutely right. So you get 2 parts of the 6 parts of a chocolate. Rahul Kanwar, any more? Rahul Kanwar, John Skelton, I doubt. Anyone else? Or Rahul Kanwar, you can try again. Lydgate is done. Occleve is done. Any other names? Come on, participants. Any other? Who are the 6? John Skelton, I doubt I said. Who are the 6? Two are finished. Lydgate and Occleve. Who are others? I know only 3. Okay. So I will share the other. Please don't worry. One is George Ashby. Can you see George Ashby? I typed it. I have very limited knowledge of IT and technology. One is George Ashby. The other is Henry Bradshaw. Okay. Then we have George Ripley. Okay. The third we have the other is Thomas Norton. Now please don't mix it up with Thomas Norton of Gorbudak. Okay, he's not that Thomas Norton. He's not Thomas Norton of Gorbudak. So how many we have finished? One is Lydgate. One is Occleve. Two have finished, and 4 I have written. So the 6 English Chaucerians: Thomas Occleve, John Lydgate, George Ashby, Henry Bradshaw, George Ripley, and Thomas Norton. These are the six English Chaucerians. Now, my next question comes, which is a usual question. We should all try to know and remember the names. Can you tell me the names of the Scottish Chaucerians? The names of the Scottish Chaucerians. Again, I will give you a hint. There are 4 Scottish Chaucerians as per my understanding. Can you tell me the names of the 4 Scottish Chaucerians? All are very famous. William Dunbar, absolutely. James 1, Anubhati and Somjyoti Banerjee says it's William Dunbar, absolutely right. Anubhati Baral says James 1, absolutely right. The other two, who are the other two? I have no idea about that. I have idea only about 4, which you have written, Rahul Kamar. One is King James 1. The other is Robert Henryson. The third is William Dunbar. And the fourth is Gavin Douglas. These are the 4 Scottish Chaucerians. Now, if you talk about Scottish Chaucerians, there are 2 phases that can be divided. One is the first phase and one is the second phase. So King James 1 comes in the first phase of Scottish Chaucerians, and Robert Henryson comes in the second phase of Scottish Chaucerians. A few more questions. I think you all are enjoying it. Shall I continue? Few more? Shall I move ahead with few more questions? Or is it late? I am planning for 45 minutes every night. Depends on the area that I am covering. Sometimes it might exceed, sometimes it might be less. Okay. So the next question is, name the work by John Lydgate. Name the work by John Lydgate which can be called a new Canterbury Tales. Now we all know who are Chaucerians. Chaucerians were either the disciples of Chaucer or the imitators. Now can you tell me the name of the work by John Lydgate which can be called a new Canterbury Tale? The name of the work by John Lydgate which can be called a new Canterbury Tale. Can you tell me the name of that work by John Lydgate? Please inform your friends to join us every night at 9, where I'm sure some of these questions are insightful to you all. I am sure this will be helpful to you all. Please tell your friends to watch the video, the recorded ones of the videos that we, because this streaming will be uploaded immediately. So if they want to see the quality of the questions, they can see the pre-recorded. I can very well understand that time is valuable for all of us. And this session might be taken as a session of ice breaking kind of, not ice breaking, but relaxing kind of a session where we sit and discuss whatever we learned throughout the day. So, no, Rahul Kavar, it's not Temple of Grass, it's not Troy book. Is the story of Thebes, 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 story of Thebes, Thebees, story of Thebes, which is called the New Canterbury Tale by John Lydgate. And this story of Thebes was around 1420, 1422. This was published. Now, the next question again I have about Lydgate itself, that which work of Lydgate is modeled on Chaucer's The House of Fame? Which work by Lydgate is modeled on Chaucer's The House of Fame? Can you tell me the name of the work by Lydgate? Can you tell me the name of the word by Lydgate? Is it the Siege of Thebes or is it the story of Thebes? Pujarchana, just tell me. Is it the story of Thebes or is it the Siege of Thebes? So that if I also can correct it. Okay. So the next question is, which work by Lydgate is modeled on Chaucer's The House of Fame? The House of Fame, absolutely, Rahul Kamar. There goes a virtual chocolate for you. It's Temple of Glass. The Temple of Glass by Chaucer. Sorry, the Temple of Glass by Lydgate is modeled on Chaucer's The House of Fame. We go to the next question. Name the work by Lydgate which is modeled on the Book of Duchess. The work by the work of Lydgate which is modeled on the Book of Duchess. Can you tell me the work by Lydgate which is modeled on the Book of Duchess by Geoffrey Chaucer? No? Are these questions a little interesting? Do you find little insightful these questions? Can these questions, do these questions have the potentiality of being asked in some examinations? What do you think? Please share your opinion. I'm sorry, Anubhuti, it's not the Follow Princess. Name the work, I repeat the question, name the work by Lydgate which is modeled on the Book of Duchess. The work by Lydgate which is modeled on the Book of Duchess. Can you tell me the name of the work by Lydgate which is modeled on the Book of Duchess by Geoffrey Chaucer? Arif, you are finding this insightful and interesting. Please spread the word to your friends, to your colleagues, so that we all can join at 9 o'clock every day and have a little bit brainstorming session on English literature, at present British literature. So the question, the answer to the question is A Complaint of the Black Knight. A Complaint of the Black Knight is the work by Lydgate, which is modeled on Chaucer's The Book of the Duchess. We come to the next question. Name the work by King James I. I hope you are aware. We just discussed about King James I. Name the work by King James I, which is a dream allegory in rhyme royal. The work by King James I, which is a dream allegory, and it's in rhyme royal. Can you tell me the name of the work? Dream allegory, and it's in rhyme royal. The answer is The King's Square. The King's Square. Quair. The King's Square. Right, Anubhuti. Right. The King's Square. Right. The King's Square, also known as the King's. King's Square is also known as the King's Book. Now, pertaining to this, we have one more question, and the question is, which work by King James I was inspired? Which work by King James I was inspired? Inspired from what? Inspired from the Knight's Tale of the Canterbury Tales. Which work by James I was inspired by the Knight's Tale of the Canterbury Tales? Which work was inspired? Which work of James I was inspired by the Knight's Tale of the Canterbury Tales? Can you tell me the name of the work? Can you tell me the name of the work? The answer is again the same, The King's Square. The King's Square of James I. The King's Square of James I is the book which was inspired by the Knight's Tale of the Canterbury Tales. So with that, I hope I was able to throw some insight to able to throw something, some insight to today's discussions. And tomorrow we will talk about the early Tudor period. So you all can just revise and come the early Tudor period tomorrow, and we can talk about the early Tudor period tomorrow. Same time, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. We will meet tomorrow again. I hope you all have enjoyed the session today. And Gargi Saikia suggests some good MCQ book for PG entrance. No idea. Which book is specially for BHU? Very difficult. I don't know. BHU, I have studied long back. We studied certain books long back, but I don't know the pattern now. But I feel that you should go for the important works. You should go through your graduation syllabus, or you should study the graduation syllabus of BHU. That might help you in a way, I'm sure. By syllabus, I don't mean the works which are prescribed in the syllabus. That is, of course, but uh, apart from that, you can also go for the writers that are mentioned there. But this is just a suggestion. I have no idea of how it is done now. I have studied there long back. But yes, we can attend. I think these sessions might be helpful for you. Please spread the word. We will work more. We will, uh, you know, we will work towards developing good quizzes, good discussions. This is just the beginning. Please bless me so that I can work ahead more harder, more better. There'll be few videos also on my YouTube that will be coming up in the due course of time. Everything will not be live, of course. Live brings in a different, essence. Okay, and I want to enjoy that. It's great to communicate with so many of y'all. And please spread the word so that more people join in. We have more interactions, because it takes a little bit of effort to prepare these questions. I hope you understand. I hope the questions asked today were insightful. You found it useful. I hope you have found it useful, right? So yeah, so please go ahead and please ensure that we all learn to unlearn, to relearn. And I'm sure this y'all are enjoying this series. And tomorrow again we will meet 9 p.m. sharp, hopefully, if there is no technical glitch. But please do wait for me. I will come definitely tomorrow 9 o'clock at night, again with the early Tudor age. So you all also can prepare and come the early Tudor age, so that we can have more warmly discussions. Till then, take care. Good night. It was pleasure to meet you all. Please take care. May God bless you. Thank you. Good night.